Good evening, everybody. It is meteorologist Ains Weather Forecast, and welcome back to another tropical update, guys. This is going to be a triple upload today. I was actually not planning this, but we have a lot of new updates. I know I say this every time. I do apologize if you guys hear my dog barking and some neighbors are coming or something. But, guys, so we do actually have a lot of new updates, and that's it. It actually has something to do with the National Weather Service. This is where we really have a big change in this one update can really change the perspective of what this storm's going to be for some areas. And based on the title, you can tell we do have some dangerous things here with this National Weather Service. So, guys, if you guys want to know all of the new updates in the National Weather Service, the tracks, the timing, the cone, all the things we've been looking at, even the radar, if you guys even want to know if you're going to be impacted or not, or if your family's going to be impacted or not, be sure to watch all this video and be free to share this video for neighbors or any friends or family that you know that can be impacted. And stay tuned. Alright, everybody, so as you can tell, we are going to be looking at now the National Weather Service. So as you can tell, we actually do have some very big issues now. We actually do have hurricane warnings now. You can see hurricane warnings now and storm surge warning, guys. So that is a huge threat, and a storm surge can really get possibly up to 6 feet, which is really going to pick up your car, really going to do a lot of damage. I know 6 feet doesn't sound like a lot, but guys, at that point you need to get to the highest level in your house. So as you can tell, we do now still have some areas in the we do have tropical storm warnings still off the coast and to many areas of the Gulf of Mexico. We actually do have it in effect for some inland areas. That's where we do have the tropical storm watches there. And then we do have the not tornado warnings. We do have the hurricane warnings out here right off the coast and in the Bay areas for the southern part of Louisiana. And then we actually do now have the storm surge warning. That is actually something very dangerous. You do not want to be in there. So if you're in some kind of hurricane warning or storm surge warning, you might want to evacuate. Just get in your car and drive somewhere safe. You can actually just drive a car from here and drive it. You can drive to Houston, guys, and you'll be safe. You can just drive maybe right here to the border of Texas, and you'll be completely safe because it's looking like it's just going to come over here, as you can tell. But I know it's not that easy to evacuate. But we do have storm surge warnings for the most southern part of Louisiana, these very small bay areas, these very small islands there. And then we do have the storm surge watches in effect for some areas just north of the storm surge warnings and actually all the way into Mississippi coast. We also do have the flash flood watches again, the green colors. We also have that for those areas in Mississippi, in the Jackson area, and the Baton Rouge, and for the Panhandle and the Mobile area, so for those areas that can expect some. And then we do have tropical storm watches in effect just off the coast of Mississippi. So again, that's where we do have quite a lot of action here. Now we're going to be looking at the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. As you can tell, Barry is still here. Tropical storm Barry is still here, and it's still at 40 miles per hour wind, so it's still in the border of tropical storm sustained winds. But it has gotten stronger. I know the winds haven't changed, but look at the millibars. Now it's at 1,003. It has changed 2 millibars, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a sign of it intensifying, getting more organized. And then we're actually going to be looking at the satellite imagery, and that will all show it. And it's still moving pretty slow at 5 miles per hour. 5 miles per hour. Again, that is also showing that it is not slowing down, but it's not speeding up. So again, 5 miles per hour is pretty slow, and that's why it's going to possibly get to a Category 1 before it even makes landfall. I know it's very, very close. You can see even the little band here for the symbol is touching some areas of the inland areas. But again, there we have Tropical Storm Barry. Now we're going to be looking at satellite imagery. It is actually looking a lot more disorganized now. You can see really not looking a whole lot better. Just a big blob, but it is a lot bigger. We do start to see some bands form up here, but again, it's a very, very big. I believe I think it's so big that the whole satellite does not get all of it. I bet you there's still a whole half that's over here too, but we just can't see it. But we do have, looks like the eye is somewhere over here, or that's where we will see the eye. And then we do have some other blob connecting it. We do have a blob connecting with Barry, so that probably be a sign of it connecting with a lot of more system and making it bigger and bigger and bigger until it gets to the category 1 and possibly a very weak category 2, but that's actually not looking like it could happen. Look at, we're just going to stay there. We actually do have some vorticity over here in some areas, and then we are starting to have some vorticity right here in this area. So we're trying to look very deep into find this vorticity here, but we just can't find it really. But that's what it's looking like there. Now we're going to be looking at the cone and timing, guys. So as you can tell, we do have a lot of colors right here. We're going to be looking at the colors first. As you can tell in the yellow, we're going to start from the east to west. In the yellow, we do actually have tropical storm watches in that yellow, so off the coast of Mississippi and also Alabama. And then we also have tropical storm warnings in the blue. So for New Orleans now, it's in tropical storm warning, and it also stretches all the way from New Orleans all the way to the southwestern part of Louisiana, the whole coast there. Then we also have in the pinkish color right under the blue, we do have hurricane watches, but in the red is where we do have hurricane warnings, guys. It's for those most southern parts of Louisiana. Again, that's what I said. It's very, very hard to actually find it, but it's in the most southern part. And then in the orange circle highlighted, that's where we do have the tropical storm current wind and the X. And then we do have it could actually now look like it's going to hit as a tropical storm instead of a hurricane. It looks like it's going to stay as a tropical storm, not really looking like it's going to be a hurricane now. It is showing weakness as it's getting very close here. But it looked like by Saturday it should make landfall as tropical storm Barry. I know, but it could still bring in some very huge threats for the storm surge. Honestly, guys, the threat isn't really the winds. It's really the storm surge. That's really the main cause of death for a hurricane, like the flooding and all that, people not evacuating. And then it should go to depression by Sunday. So very quickly it goes to depression. Then it should go to remnant of Barry, as it does go very far out all the way into Indiana. So again, this area is the next 4 to 5 days. It's transparent color, so it's very hard to track there. It could be a couple hundred miles off. You never know. Now we're going to be looking at the tracks. The tracks are finally somewhat agreeing. They're somewhat agreeing. More models are showing it going to the Texas area or western Louisiana. That's not really going to happen. It's already looking like it's going to turn to. It's really looking like it's turning to the north now. But we finally have some kind of agreement now. All the models are like either for Louisiana or Mississippi. Because we used to have earlier today we had a bunch coming here, so it's really looking weird. But now this is the cone I'm going to be drawing right now. This is my cone right here. It's very small because I want to be exact. We're not very exact, but if you guys have a better idea. So it is looking like it's either going to hit New Orleans or for the south central part of New Orleans or Louisiana and hit Baton Rouge. So guys, this is what it's looking like here for like when it makes landfall. So now we're also going to be taking, sorry guys, it's really loud. It's really distracting me. Sorry if I pause for a second. Make sure my friend does not come in my room when I'm making the video. And then it does look like it does hit parts of Arkansas, goes right over the Mississippi River here. Just like it hits Tupelo, it hits Jackson, it hits parts of Arkansas, maybe even Little Rock, and then possibly affects Memphis and parts of southern Illinois and parts of the areas in the Ohio Valley, and possibly affect Kentucky. Now we're going to be looking at the intensity guidance now. Only one model now. Only one model is not showing category 1. So that is the sign of weakness. Like that is like really the sign of weakness there for the tropical storm of Barry possibly just staying as a tropical storm. But again, we do have it for now on, like right now we are seeing it increasing to either looking like it's going to stop at a very strong tropical storm. So it's looking like it's going to stay there, and then it should go back down by the next. Very soon, it should go down very fast. Either next 48 hours, that's the soonest. But all the models show the next 72 to 48 hours. In between that is when we should have it come back down. Now we're going to be taking a look at the wind. So this is the 10 meter one. This is the one that's on the ground, so it's not the H50 HPA. This is the one that's we're really going to be looking at. This one's a really detailed one. Next 30 hours, we have it up to 48 knots, starting to affect parts of the Louisiana coast there already. Can bring in that's where we had those storm surge areas. The next 48 hours is where we actually could have impact, the earliest impact with 54 knots. Going to be affecting parts of south central Louisiana, and it could bring in very strong bands right behind it, which can cause us flooding. And then very quickly, it does go to right to 28 knots, and then it weakens just like that, guys. So just like that is where it can weaken. Now we're going to be looking at the H50 HPA wind. Now this one, guys, this is not the exact winds. This is actually higher in the atmosphere, so it's going to be showing stronger winds in a bigger size of what Barry actually is. This is because since it's higher in the atmosphere, it hasn't made contact yet. So that's with the land. So that's why it's going to be showing stronger winds. So by the next 24 hours, it's already showing 69 knots. So that's why we do see like that, guys, because it's out in the atmosphere. It's going to be it's affecting parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, parts of the Panhandle. That's higher up. So if you guys live in the highest elevations in your area, that's where you can actually see a bit higher winds, because there's not really a lot of mountains in Louisiana, Mississippi. It's more in the Appalachian Mountains right here. And then we actually do get it up to 84 knots. But even the H50 HPA showing it weakening. Earlier this morning showed the 96 knots maximum, but now it can only get up to 84 knots. So that is a sign that it is looking like it's going to weaken. And then it could affect parts of the Mississippi River and go on and bring in some strong winds at higher in the elevations. So this is going to go down to the Appalachian Mountains. So this is where we can see a big deal, because we have the Appalachian Mountains and the higher elevations. So we can actually see some real, maybe up to 30 to 46 knots for some areas, depending how high you're in the elevations. Quickly, we're going to be looking at the vorticity. This one does not take long, because this one does not really change a lot. Again, it does look like it's going to make, we're going to have the most vorticity go into parts of those small islands where we had the hurricane warnings, and then go a bit more to the west and affect south central Louisiana, and then go straight up and affect Shreveport. It's going to go right up the middle of Louisiana, just based on and it takes that northeast turn a bit later and affects parts of Memphis, and then takes a turn up at the time it gets to Indiana and northern Kentucky. Now we're going to be looking at the radar. As you can tell, this one, the GFS right now is showing 1,002 millibars, even though that's not true. But by tomorrow, it should get to 996 millibars, bringing some very, very extreme rain for those small areas. And then by later, the next 2 days, it should be affecting Louisiana and parts of the New Orleans area, affecting parts of the Gulfport area. So now it's looking like it's going to be more of a southern Mississippi area and threat, and then it should bring even some more heavy rain the days following for the Gulfport area and for parts even the Jackson, Mississippi area, and it should move on. But it's still going to bring heavy rain for the southeast for the coming days. So that's why we do have this multiple day threat for flooding. Guys, the last thing we're going to be looking at is for the threat of flooding. So again, we do have storm surge warnings in these areas right here, and we do have it because maximum 25 inches, and that's not out here into the Gulf. That's actually inland too. So the worst areas we can receive rain is just a couple miles northwest of New Orleans, and then for just south of Jackson is where we can actually see the worst amount of rain there. But we could see actually a good amount of rain for close to the Nashville, very close to the Nashville, where we can actually see up to 8.5 inches of rain for these areas right here. And then we could see a good amount for Tupelo, maybe up to 5 to 6 inches there. And then a good amount of rain for the Tennessee and Kentucky area. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. I know it wasn't expected and all that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm actually going to be collabing with Insight Weather tomorrow around 3:30 p.m. But I'm going to have a video out maybe before 12 or noon. Same thing. But guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And bye guys.